How's it going, everyone? Good to be back. I know for me, it's been a couple of weeks, and work for me has been a little bit tough lately, and some other things going on. It's kind of preventing me from doing the old Tuesday night lives. But I'm really glad to be back, and especially with John and Michael. So I think with everything that Lucky Seven has had going on, and for me, I think over the course of the last maybe 6 to 9 months have gotten an awful lot of questions. Where do you find it? What is it? All of that kind of stuff. So I figured rather than me try to, go through what I didn't fully know, we'll bring the two sources and stuff on and let them kind of share really everything about themselves, the brand, the whiskey. But I really wanted to do it for you guys just because of all the questions that I've been getting lately. And, they've been winning some awards, and rightfully so, some really fantastic whiskeys that they're doing, some new single barrels. Some of you guys are familiar with probably some of the maybe Benny's single barrel picks that they've done. So I know they've done a lot of stuff with them, but a lot of really good stuff. So I wanted to get John and Michael on and let them kind of share a little bit about everything going on. So let me go back to a few people that were in here first right away. Say hi to a few people, and then we'll bring John and Michael on. Let them talk a little bit about everything Lucky Seven. Sugar Kitty, how's it going? Blind Squirrel, good to see you, brother. Michael, good to see you. Roy, always good to see you. Hendo, always good to see you. Katie, the boss, how's it going? So we got here. Justin, good to see you. TK, how's it going, Trevor? Thanks for jumping in. Hey, Kenny, Cameron, good to see you guys. What else we got here? Eric, good to see you. Thanks for coming in tonight. Appreciate it. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Nate, Brett, good to see you. There'll be some giveaway stuff tonight. We'll go over a few of those other things. Hey, Gene, how's it going, brother? Top Dog, good to see you. JG, how's it going, my man? What else we got here? So I'll catch back up. Hey, Timmy, how's it going? Tim Gargus, how's it going? Peter, there's my man. How's it going, Jace? Deborah, good to see you. Ethan, good to see you. Okay, I'm all caught up here, I think, for the most part. I'll bring John and Michael on here in a second. But yeah, so anyway, I really wanted to focus tonight with everything again that they've got going on, some fantastic things. So we're super excited. Hopefully, we'll talk about this later, but hopefully we'll be able to kind of do a barrel pick with them, sometime in the future for the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. So a lot of good things, but I'm not going to waste any more time. Let me bring on John and Michael, and we will get the old party started here. So, gentlemen,
yes,
thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining tonight. So you guys are like newish kind of rock stars. So thanks for joining tonight.
Well, thanks for having us. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we watch a lot of your shows that live on YouTube, and first class all the way. We love it. We talk about your show, your backdrop, your background there is gorgeous.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're enjoying that too.
It's a fun hobby to have. And I mean, I know you guys running a whiskey brand. There's nothing that's a hobby about that. I know it's an awful lot of work with everything that you've got going in. But like I was saying before, this is one of those things where I think for me, and we were talking about it a little bit before we went live, was the last 6 or 9 months. I mean, I've started getting a lot more questions about, what's Lucky Seven? Where do you find it? What's it all about? And then kind of John and I started talking through kind of like talking about, barrel pick stuff. And I figured, well, you know what, this is a great opportunity, I think, to maybe allow you guys to share just a little bit more about Lucky Seven, yourselves, the whiskeys, all of that, and really kind of just, let everyone know more about the brand and kind of where they can find things and all of that. So thanks for taking a few minutes of your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think you, if I remember correctly, you were probably one of the first, if not the first person to review one of our first releases, the Jokester.
I think I was.
I remember that. And I remember you being like probably one of the first YouTubers, I would say, that actually do a full tasting and review on us. So I appreciate you doing that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and when I was doing those, I think that was, for me, the fun part is always finding, newer brands, different whiskeys, and just knowing a little bit more about, what it is that you guys bring to the table. There's always interesting stories and the back history of things. And that's always been from the get-go for me, a lot of what kind of drives me in what this is. I kind of really enjoy other people learning a little bit more about kind of maybe what I already, knew about, before others. And this is now kind of where you guys are. Everyone's like, where do I find Lucky 7 and all this good stuff and all of that. So let's go back a little bit before kind of Lucky 7. So how did you guys kind of, where did your whiskey journey begin, and how did that all kind of start out?
Well, you want to go, Johnny? Go ahead.
Go.
Yeah.
I'll keep the way back short, but it's a little bit relevant because me and Mike were both living in the city, and Mike at a young age in college was running a valet company in the West Loop of Chicago, which is a very popular, trendy restaurant area now. But back then, it was kind of meat packing and, warehouses, things like that, except there was 3-4 big restaurants where the second three-peat of the Bulls, those were all the restaurants where they would go to, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all the guys. So I lived right above one of the restaurants, Marche, and I had heard from a roommate that, there's a guy downstairs who owns this company and has all these accounts, and we're making tons of money, because of the Bulls Roadshow was a big deal back then. It was probably the biggest thing in entertainment. So quickly I contacted Mike, and of course he couldn't get enough people. So that's when our relationship began. And through that, we felt like we had a lot of stories to tell, to our grandkids. It was a crazy time. But our bond grew closer. We started to realize, quickly that we were friends, and we would go out together. We kind of had a whole pack of people that we would all get to know each other, have a great time. And then, well, fast forward, me and Mike were drinking the brown liquor, later in life, after settling down.
After, all that.
And then, so Mike grew his valet company to basically all of the West Loop and beyond. And I was in trucking with my brothers, and, you start to get to the point where this has been my whole career. And I would say, as great as it was, the people I worked with and everything, what's next? Let's do something. And then I think Mike got to that same point. What a wonderful career we were blessed with, but we got to do something else. So Mike, we actually went to try to sell a movie at a couple different film festivals, and pretty big ones.
Interesting.
Because my brother-in-law was a director, so we didn't wake up one morning and want to sell movies. I had a brother-in-law here in LA that had movies, and he wanted us to help sell them. So John and I volunteered.
But he identified Mike as someone who could sell, and then Mike said, "Hey, John, this is perfect for you too." And I felt like we did a really good job at both those places.
We ended up going to Sundance, and then we ended up going to Cannes, which was a big deal.
We're getting back to
big deal. That is a big deal.
Yeah, they're getting back to where we were staying, and people were asking us, "How did you meet all these people?" So then we kind of even coached them up one night. But during that time, that was really when me and Mike were saying, what are we going to do? So Mike had mentioned, he had heard of, people, a group of guys, like me, him, and maybe some other guys can maybe buy a barrel from some of these distilleries. Well, quickly that morphed into, we can do this as a business. And we kind of moved quickly from that point on. We took a trip to Kentucky, and we kind of committed to spending a little money to really get into this, really meet some people and hire a consultant even. And then even if we had to blow a few bucks and say this isn't right for us, let's do it, because we were really starting to convince ourselves that this was our future. And sure enough, that trip to Kentucky was something. You know, it was, everything seemed right. Every move we made, every person we talked to, we were like, these are the type of people, this is the industry we want to work in. You know, everyone was super friendly, even if they were, you know, saying, hey, the minimums in our, you know, minimum barrel purchases in our minds were maybe too lofty. We still said, it won't be long, maybe where we're there. So yeah, we got really excited on that trip, and kind of,
well, leading up to that, though, I would say me and John, well, I had moved from Chicago to Los Angeles, so there was a time of like 10 years that me and John were like long distance relationship, call it. And so John being in Chicago and near Binny's, and me being in LA, there was a big difference in like what we can get in terms of, you know, allocations and bourbons. And we really started getting in the bourbon like maybe 6 years ago. And, you know, I'd buy a bottle. I'd immediately send JP a shot of the bottle, and, you know, he'd find something in Chicago, and I'd beg him to send me a bottle, you know, over to me, because I couldn't get it here.
Blanton's and Weller, of course, you know.
yeah.
It was like, hey, you see Blanton's.
Out there chasing those horses. Out there chasing those horsey tops.
Oh yeah.
And that's back when they would pop up, you know. Hey, every time you see it for $55, grab it. Weller for 25, 30. Yeah.
And that really led up. That started getting, you know, pretty, that really snowballed into, hey, let's try and do a barrel pick with one of these distilleries. And like John mentioned, when we went to Kentucky, you know, we were like, let's go to Kentucky, let's go to the homeland. We started to realize a lot of the distilleries were starting to cancel those programs, those barrel pick programs. They were just too busy. They didn't want to deal with it. And so, but through that trip, thankfully, we did meet some key players that really opened our eyes to what, you know, what we could do, what the possibilities could be. So, and that led to us putting together a whole team, and where we are today. But it was from that one or two trips to Kentucky that I mean, the people were just so nice and helpful, and John and I both fell in love with the area and the people and the culture, and we were just mesmerized by everything. And so, I don't know, for me, I got this, like, these chills knowing, like, this is really what I want to do. You know, this is something that I want to do full steam. And I think John, if not the same time, probably soon after, felt the same way.
Oh yeah, I think it was the drive back to the airport. We were high-fiving, and wow, we're doing this.
Yeah. I mean that's a big step. I mean, you know, dipping your toes, you know, in the world of whiskey, you know, even when you guys did it, I mean, it was already like full on, like it's go time, you know, with the whiskey industry, and to take that leap and end up ultimately where you are now. I mean, kudos to you guys, and you know, being able to continue and kind of chase a passion and then be able to provide these kind of things. I mean, it's a pretty awesome thing. But like Michael said before, like the world of whiskey, there's something about it that I don't know if it's like the kind of personality that it kind of takes, like in the whiskey world, but there's something about it that just draws you in, you know, if you're willing to kind of go down that path like that, it's such a great community, and you get to meet great people like you guys, or just good friends or whatever it may be. And then it's just kind of the best part happens after that. It like all opens up, and it's such kind of a great thing. So I'm glad that you guys were able to kind of keep pushing forward, and you found some pretty damn good whiskey. I'll tell you guys that. So
yeah, thanks. Yeah, we were pretty fortunate from the beginning, you know, and we scrambled, you know, putting all our pennies together, grab as much of it as we could, and you know, and it's been this hustle ever since. But we both realize and plan on only being, well, at least for now, a Kentucky brand. You know, we believe that Kentucky has some of the best bourbon, and you know, it's hard, but we're hustling, we're doing it, we're coming out with some great expressions, and we're really proud of them all. So it's been a journey.
You know, and I'll say for you guys, like I think part of it was, you know, a little bit, maybe not as much for me, but you guys were out like searching for kind of barrel picks and like from a personal standpoint of like really wanting to kind of dive into things. And then it just allows you to kind of springboard forward a little bit. But, you understood the demand and the want for searching for good whiskey. And I suppose from it being personal to you guys, it just led you down the road of like, well, let's go beyond that. Let's secure some good, whiskey. Now, let me ask you this. So when it came to, for you guys, getting to the point where you thought, let's make a real run at this and starting to find good whiskey, what was that process? Was it difficult? Was it, what you guys thought? But like, what was that process like for you?
So there's always little secrets in the bourbon world, but a key part of our team, we said, let's have this meeting out in California. And this is kind of last step for us. Like, we want to do this, but at the time, this was somebody we didn't know that well. And we brought him out to California, and we had a dinner the night before. We had a great time, kind of setting the groundwork for the next day when we really were going to get down to business. And me and Mike were feeling it, but we're like, tomorrow we're going to find out the nuts and bolts and how much this would cost, and how we knew we were going to be way short, but let's see how short, and can we start this brand, with what we have, or a little bit of money we could raise or whatever. But I always like to say this one key moment, where something came up, some barrels came up, and we didn't know if we were ready yet, but honestly, no joke, we leaned back in our chairs and had a little side conversation to ourselves. And I liked it for the people. Now I realize people are too young to realize the movie Vacation, but as I tell this story, but I very much compare it to when Chevy Chase was going to jump in that swimming pool saying, this is crazy. Yeah. Well, me and Mike just said, we'll take them. It was 10 barrels.
Yeah.
And we said,
that was our first purchase. Yeah.
And then, walk around the hotel lobby for a little bit. Like, what did we just do? But
yeah,
that's when we were in it.
It was exciting. Yeah, that made it real. But we didn't at that point have a name. We didn't have anything besides 10 barrels. Like, that's how, from the ground we started. And it took almost a year to come up with the name. We couldn't find a name that we really liked. We had hundreds of names, but Lucky 7, I don't know if you know the story behind it. I was watching Casablanca, the movie, one night, and I really enjoyed it. So I started doing a little more research on the film, and I came upon this NPR article that was doing a whole thing on the I think it was the 75th anniversary of the Stage 7 at a famous Hollywood studio, I'll call it. And anyway, the stage became called Lucky Stage 7, and then became Lucky 7 because of all the Oscar nominations and all the hit movies that came out of it. So I got that name that night. I jotted it down on the piece of paper. I was like, really, really struck a chord with me. And I called JP the next day, and I read him a little bit of the article, and he cut me off and said, that's our name. That's got to be our name. And so then we had to go down the road of getting it trademarked and all that. So that took forever. I mean, but that's all really how it all started. I mean, you're just kind of piecing things together, kind of like, going down a trail and picking up a rock and putting it in our bag, and then keep on going, and, like just putting everything together until we were able to launch. And then when we launched, right in the middle of COVID, right when COVID happened, we launched our brand. So we were, it wasn't like a totally smooth, like planned out ride at all, but it's been a great ride so far, I would say.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome that you buy 10 barrels. Now you're like, now what do we do? Now we have to come up with a name. What's our company going to be? Like, you figure out a name. Now you have to like figure out if you can even legally have it. You do all these stuff, and it's so easy to get so excited about all of these things, and it's a pretty incredible like world of whiskey when you get to talk to people and the backstories and all of that as to how you kind of came up with things. Paul was asking before, so if we kind of jump ahead a little bit, the bottle design. So I mean, it's unique. I don't think I've seen it really in anything else, and I don't know if it's if it's a special bottle to you guys or something you had designed or what, but I haven't seen anyone else use this bottle. So what's the story behind the bottle?
Well, I'll take. You want me to tell, John?
No, you
so, well, we knew we wanted we just wanted a premium bottle. We knew that. Like JP and I always we like from the day one we thought of doing this. Everything we wanted to do, we wanted it premium. We wanted the juice, of course, to be the best you could possibly get, and then of course we wanted the bottle and the cork and the cork shank and everything to be premium. We were very weary of the fancy bottle. I know everyone has this little pushback against fancy bottles, and probably get a little resistance from some people just because they might have been burned on a fancy bottle, in the past. But we really wanted our bottle to look really nice on someone's bar, because John and I always tell people, they always wonder like, why, how are you doing so well and this and that, and John and I are our customer. Like, we started as the customer first. Like, we walk down those aisles of Brown, and we know what to look for, and we look at the price very closely. This is before we had a brand. I'm just saying, like, this is like when we were people just buying bourbon off the shelves. And so we wanted to have a bottle that kind of stood out also, just so you could pick it up and look at it and feel it and maybe learn about it a little bit. But yeah, we started doing a custom bottle. Yes, that's they call that a decanter bottle. Essentially, it's glass from France, and the decoration on it is 22 karat gold. All the gold you see on it is 22 karat gold. Not that we did that on purpose. We got the samples back, and the gold on the real gold looked the best. It was just the best shine. It was the best everything. All the other kind of like fake gold or whatever was very dull, and it just didn't do what we wanted it to do. But anyway, so JP and I went down the road of actually having a bottle designed specifically for us. And that took almost the same amount of time, a year. And then we scrapped the whole thing because we just couldn't come up with a solution. And then we were at a convention in Denver, and we saw a booth at the Savor Glass booth, and that bottle you're holding in your hand was tucked away in the corner. It was like a overstock bottle. They weren't even marketing it at the time. It was like a dusty old little bottle in the corner. And I said, hey, can I see that bottle over there in the corner? They're like, yeah, sure. Here you go. I said, hey, can I borrow this for like an hour? I'll bring it back. And we walked around the convention, and we had mocked up. There was like label people there. There were cork people there. There were, we came back. The bottle looked like, it got tatted up, and, it was like it was all decorated and everything. And we're like, okay, we like this bottle, we'll how many of these can we get? And I think we bought 5,000 bottles or something like that, pretty much at the convention. And that became our bottle. And then we went down the road of having it decorated and, getting everything as was what you see today, as the gold on the back and the peel back label and, all of those things.
Yeah, it's a classy bottle. I mean, I think it fits a lot with, the image. I mean, clearly going back to, the film part of things, you guys have tied a lot of your own personal side of things, into the brand and a lot of that. I mean, I think when you kind of go back to the old, like, I don't know, I mean, this is probably like kind of the 30s retro style kind of era, maybe 20s and 30s, something like that. But
that and just when we saw it, that's the one we knew that was our bottle, like when we first saw it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good. And here's another thing I'll say that I think is super important for whiskey bottles. There's something to me that's not more annoying than picking up a bottle that's difficult to pour. And this is like a natural pourable bottle. You can grab a hold of the side of it. It's not like it's like huge and around. You're like trying to figure out how I'm going to pour this thing. You can't grip it. Yeah, this is just
so you
like
don't spill it. And,
it's chunky. And it,
and
pretty
if
much
do
100% on
me
the
a
pop
favor.
when you pull the cork off.
Yeah.
It pops pretty much every time.
Pull
I'm
the
confident
cork
if you do a
off by
live
your
pop,
mic.
it'll work. There you go.
Very good.
There.
And I know for anybody, I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know if anyone can see.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that.
But there's the cork also has a lot of the same design that's on the bottle in there as well. So yeah, it's, I mean, the kind of the old like movie ticket on the front, and it is. I mean, that was the one thing that probably when I first saw it, it looks like it's a classy bottle. It kind of gives the impression of, you know, the image of that and all of that. And I think, like Michael said before, once you get past the like maybe feeling like you're burned or whatever by a fancy bottle or whatever it may be, I think once you get to the whiskey, that's the story. At that point, you know.
Yeah, we knew we were gonna have top-notch bourbon or whiskey or whatever we ended up doing. We knew it was gonna be really, really good. And so far so good. You know, we have built a great team as well. Ashley Barnes is our master blender, and she's amazing, and we love working with her and Monica. So we've and like Mike said earlier, we fell in love with Kentucky too. I'm now going there about half the time, so it's starting to become my home. I feel like I'm being accepted. So,
well, it's a fun place. I mean, I find myself there. It seems like, you know, if it's not once a month, it seems to be that. I know you probably get there more often than that, but it's a really easy, comfortable place to be. You know, it's
it really is.
The people are great. The other, as you guys know, you know, whether it's Bardstown Bourbon Company, just anybody you go to with questions or concern, whatever it may be, there couldn't be a more friendly bunch of people. You know, you always look at, like, you know, if things went to hell, like, I don't know if Pepsi would be so willing to help out Coke. You know, it's one of those industries where, I mean, Heaven Hill was a perfect example of that when it burned down and, you know, Beam steps in to produce all this other stuff. I mean, they could have been like, hey, forget it, man. You're on your own. And they didn't do that at all. So
we talk with other brands all the time, and it's so refreshing, you know. Certainly there's certain things we compete for, but you know, what's really nice though is we all kind of have the same customers that I know. This is how me and Mike started. Like we said, we were bourbon seekers and customers. We didn't want 20 of our favorite bourbons. We didn't want 50. We just kept wanting to find the ones we like and keep buying more of them. I don't, you know, much like a wine cellar that people have in their basement. You know, you didn't want to have 4 bottles of your favorite or 5. You just want to keep buying them and stacking them up. And that's who we were, and that's who our customers are. So no, and that's part of our time in Kentucky is spending times with other brands, other people in the industry, and clubs and people that really love bourbon. So yeah, we're enjoying being kind of quasi Kentucky residents.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. So you've got several options now. So I know when I first got these, so the first one out of the gate I think I had was the 6-year the Jokester, and the sample I had, which was the Hold Up. And you guys don't call this the Hold Up anymore at all, right?
Do you? Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm. You do. Oh, okay, you do. Yeah. I thought you had changed the name or did something with one of them, but so this was the 12-year. This was a 6. And I think I did kind of a combo review of those at the time, and they were fantastic. I mean, just going through all those, but I'm interested to kind of hear your side of things in terms of when you went into the process of, you know, after maybe getting the first 10 barrels, what your selection process was like, kind of what it is you guys look for and all of that.
So doing what we do, like constantly looking for Kentucky bourbon, you know, we have people that we work with that will tell us, hey, we have these many barrels of this available. Are you interested? And depending on what it is, we'll either say yes or no, and then we'll have to try it, obviously. But if we all like it, we'll get a certain amount of it. Call it 35 barrels, 50 barrels, whatever's available, whatever money we have available to purchase those. Then what ends up happening is we will have samples pulled. Ashley will have samples pulled. She will sort of get everything in line. She'll taste everything, decide or suggest what she thinks would be best to use for those barrels, whether it's a single barrel offering, whether we blend it with other similar barrels, should we proof it, where should we proof it. John and I and Ashley and her partner Monica sometimes all sit down and we try it all, and we try it again, and then we try it again, and we keep trying it until we all sort of agree on what we think is the best use of those barrels are. So the 6-year that you have in your hand, that was the 6-year that we were able to get our hands on. We ended up agreeing on proofing it at 95. We thought that was the sweet spot for that juice. It's my daily drinker. I love it. It's a very approachable, delicious bourbon. People who try it, they love it right away. And that was our first double gold winner at ADI, I think 2 years ago. So we were really proud of that expression. And sad story, we are going to retire that this year. We have a last batch, a final batch coming out. We just bottled it, actually. It's a little special blend. It's a little different than the previous batches. And we have a sticker on the bottle that says, good luck with retirement, Jokester, final batch. and that'll be it for the Jokester. And we're going to move on to some other fun expressions after that.
And Scott, that's the 6th. The final one is the 6th.
That's
the 6th. Okay.
There'll be quite a few bottles and cases available. So, yeah, it turned out really good. And we were in town a couple weeks ago, and we were featured at a get together. And then this was actually Mike's idea, which is good. He brought some extra stickers that'll be on the shoulder. It'll be on the shoulder, like a barrel pick round sticker would be.
Yep.
There'll be a
just like the proprietor sticker.
Yeah. But a congratulations on the retirement, so you kind of know it's it's a little, hopefully a little bit collectible, but also identifying that's batch 6, the final one. So, so Mike started announcing that we were going to have a retirement party later in the after hours party. And by the end of the event we were at, everybody, men and women, they had these little stickers all over because we brought the stickers. So it was a lot of fun.
Good.
And I could see that happening again next week. And I could see some of that happening again next week in Kentucky.
For sure.
Yeah. That's what I saw that changed. I knew there was something that changed.
That's
somewhere. It was a name. That's what it was that I saw. So there was like the retirement party for the 6 years.
One quick thing I'd say about what me and Mike do like, we always see, some other brands do. And we would, there's so many secrets in this game, we're pretty proud of what we're doing, and, I like just say Bardstown Bourbon Company, when they kind of put the percentage of what's in on the fusion. I always enjoyed that as a bourbon fan, and we're, we don't want to act like we're going to have the Jokester forever. We wish we would, but this is it. So we're gonna send the Jokester out in style with a good retirement party.
Yeah, we're gonna be proud of it that we're retiring it and just move on to something else for now. And
we got other stuff in what I like to call our test kitchen. That we know it's good, but that'll be coming out soon.
We as like the whiskey folk and nerds, geeks, whatever you want to call it, they're always
that's us.
We're always in you guys know, because you feed yourself first as to what it is we all want, so you get a little bit before we do, but we're always interested in the test kitchen. The test kitchen is always the fun thing. What you have percolating, So, but this is like Michael said, it's an easy it's an easy drinking, 95 proofer, but very, very flavorful. It was one of the things that I like early on and like right away thought the same thing too. I'm like, boy, that's a really easy, drinking, whiskey. And again, 95 proof. I mean, that's nothing to, to turn your nose up to. That can catch up to you pretty quickly as well. But it drinks like right about that perfect. It's a really nice one. So speaking of that, real quick, we'll kind of get back to some of the other releases, but distribution, where are you guys? Because I had someone ask before in the comment or in the comments, we're asking like what distribution is like for you guys.
You mean like what states are we in? Or,
what states are you guys in currently?
We are. I think we're about 13 states now, like meaning states that we're on shelves in stores.
Yeah.
We also really make a strong effort to have all of our products on our website that you can buy. We put the proprietor on there, and that thing sells out within hours. But usually we try to keep everything available. But I'll say, let me think this through. We are in Illinois, we're in Kentucky, Tennessee, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. Let me think. California,
Michigan.
Although we're Michigan.
Okay.
I'm missing a couple. I know it. Anyway, but if you don't want to deal with looking for it, we try to. The reason we do have a e-commerce page on our website is because of the frustration looking for bottles. Like you want to find this one bottle. Like I've been looking for Russell's 13 forever. I can't find it anywhere, and I want to try this stuff because I keep hearing it's so good. And like I would love if they just threw it on their website or something. I could just buy it. So from a consumer standpoint, that's what we like to do. So we're trying to always keep, inventory stocked on our website so you can just buy it and not have to hunt it around. But
Michael, I got you. I'll send you a little thing of maple syrup.
I would love that, please.
But yes, Michael, you could have tried it at a million places. You just want it for your collection.
I can't try it at a million places. I know. I would totally. I just want to try it. I keep hearing about it. Didn't it win like best of the year or something? Well,
let me tell you a little funny story about that. When I first had it, I was down in Kentucky. I was in Lexington. I was at a little bar that was on the property of where James E. Pepper is. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's this whatever this bar was, and it had the Russell's 13 had just come out like maybe a week before. And we're sitting there, I'm with my dad and another friend, and I see this bottle sitting like up high, like it's not even been opened. I said, "Oh, I see you got Russell's 13." And the guy's like, looking at it, had no idea what it was. I said, "Hey, can we try that?" He's like, "Sure." I'm like, we'll each take a 2-ounce pour of that. So I'm like, well, I'm in Kentucky. I'm like, before you do that, I probably should ask like how much this is, because some places can get crazy. Yeah. So the guy like looks at the bottle and he goes, $15. I'm like, wow. We'll take a few of them. You might not even want to go anywhere with that bottle either. At $15 for a 2-ounce pour was like pretty darn good. So anyway, but I'll send you a sample.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you.
We'd like to, like when me and Mike are in Kentucky, we'll be definitely, try drinking some Lucky 7, but we get into everything. We want to have fun with everybody.
Yeah. The dusty bottles too. We're really getting into.
Yeah, the Dusties over at Owen Powell over at Neat, a good friend of ours. He's got himself a great bar out there for sure.
That's one thing I think is super important for brands like yours and other. I'll say smaller only from the standpoint of you're not Wild Turkey, you're not Jim Beam, you're none of that kind of stuff. And I think the brand that you guys have, it lends itself to being very personable with people. And I think we're like in a day and age where there's a lot of people who not only appreciate the whiskey, but they appreciate getting to know you guys and then have a tie to the whiskey. And for me, like in just kind of doing some of those things with other people, it's so it's so important to, I think, have you guys be not only the face, but people recognize you and appreciate you and the whiskey all as one. And for me, I think it's a huge deal where if you're pouring Lucky 7, people can really get attached to that. And for me, it's a pretty important thing and a fun thing to see when brands do that kind of stuff. So
and Scott, you had mentioned earlier, just had mentioned Bardstown Bourbon Company, but a lot of your viewers might not know, but we store our barrels and bottle at Bardstown, and they've been just amazing. You know, when we're bottling, they let us, you know, walk around and like we own the place. You know, it's really refreshing. Yeah. The workers there are unreal. So yeah, it's refreshing, this industry in general, everywhere we go, whether it's the Carters or like I said, people at BBC, where we're in their gift shop too. And it's special. Yeah. So we,
I would say Kentucky in general, this industry, at least in the Kentucky bourbon, it's so accessible. I was shocked really when we were taking our first trips to Kentucky, how easy it is to bump into somebody that's like, oh, this is the owner of such and such brand, you know, or it's just crazy. We're constantly bumping into people. I'll tell you a really funny story. This was like our second trip to Kentucky, and John and I were at this bar speakeasy called.
You always beat me to this. This is my favorite.
Oh, you want to tell it?
No.
So we were at this place called Mr. Lee's. It was like a speakeasy. It's not open anymore, but
now it's north of Bourbon.
Before COVID.
Oh yeah.
What's it called?
North of Bourbon now.
Yeah. That's what it's called. So we're there, busy night. You know, bars packed, 3D. John, you know, says, "Hey, Mike, what do you want?" And I yelp out, "Hey, I want let's get some Michter's 10-year night. Let's do some Michter's or something like that." You know, loudly. The night goes on. We're having drinks and appetizers, and a friend of ours went to pay the bill because we had bought dinner and she wanted to buy drinks or whatever. So goes to pay the bill, and the bartender's like, "Bill's taken care of. Don't worry about it." And she's like, no, I'm with those guys over there, those idiots. You know, he's like, "Yeah, I know. The bill's taken care of." And she comes back and she's like, "I don't know. He said that your bill's taken care of." So we go up there and we're like, "Hey, what's up? Why is our bill taken care of?" And he's like, "Well, I guess you ordered some Michter's and the president of Michter's was sitting at the bar and heard you. So he got all your drinks for the night." He never introduced himself, never made a big deal about it, snuck out. I couldn't even
never took credit, and didn't just pay for the pours. We had a bunch of everything too.
Yeah,
that wiped out the whole bill, and that was actually that was one of those key moments. Honestly, it was. We were like, yeah, because
and just like that story resonates with you. It's even maybe on a smaller scale for someone. If someone's with you guys and they recognize you and they have a pour with you, I mean, it can mean the world to people. Like that's one thing that people appreciate that. And hey, like, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, this spirit lends itself to wanting to be able to BS and shoot the shit with people and tell good stories and have a good time. You know,
I would say the only difference between me and Mike is whatever executive this was, and I feel like I know, probably the president.
Yeah.
He left and didn't take credit. I'm not saying we would take credit, but we wouldn't leave. We would keep drinking with them, which we do all the time when we're there.
And I don't think many people are going to be upset with that either. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys still want to enjoy this stuff too and meet people and do all of that. I mean, it's really what it's all about. I mean, you go back to the beginning. I mean, you started out as whiskey fans, like you were where we are, what we do. You've just now extended that
and we still
you know, so it's awesome.
Hey, we still chase bottles. Trust me. Like we don't get any special treatment from anybody. So,
I mean, everybody wants to try different things, and there's a lot of fun. The fun part is trying different things. And like my wife, I mean, she's like, "You don't need any more whiskey." Like, trust me, there's a lot of us who don't need more whiskey. Like, none of us need more. It's just the want and wanting to try different things and different releases and batches and all of that. So that's that's the real fun part for me, is in getting together with people and all of that. So, we touched on the jokester. Let's talk about, I guess, kind of, so we had the 6-year single barrel, right? Mm-hmm. And this isn't going away. This is still going to be a production bourbon.
That's going to be around for a while. Yeah. Okay. For as long as we have it. Okay. That'll keep going.
Okay. All right. So,
hey, one quick thing too. Anything that's proprietor is single barrel.
Oh.
So yeah, you'll know
that blue label is the proprietor, and then the white label also.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is the process I described with, all of us sitting around and deciding what to do with something. When we try something that's phenomenal and we don't want to blend it, we don't want to proof it, we don't want to do anything with it, we leave it as a single barrel. And then what'll end up happening is we have enough of it, we'll do a release in a proprietor label. What distinguishes the ages are the colors of the label. So the white label is, the 14-year, the blue label you have in your hand is 6-year. But they're always single barrel, they're always cast strength, and they're always handpicked by all of us. Ashley first, she's the one that's like, okay, put that aside, let us try that later. And, and that's how that kind of comes out from our barrel inventory.
Well, there you go. Somebody just ordered a couple bottles of the
oh, nice.
Doug, enjoy, Doug.
Yeah.
I think it was Doug.
You're in for a treat. Yeah.
It was Doug. Yeah, and that's a fun. I mean, I love having the opportunity for you guys to share, more about that. So I mean, we know the 14-year. I mean, for me, when I tasted it and like what I did my comparison to, it was a little bit of a shock. I mean, for me, I really, really enjoyed this bottle. I mean, for me, it's a special whiskey, and I've told people, like, if you can find more of this, whether it's a store pick or just a regular single barrel, whatever, for me, at this price in today's day and age, whether it goes up a little bit, and I'm sure it may, but it's as good a deal as there may be in the whiskey market right now. And I've told a lot of people, if you start finding these double-digit bourbons that are, I'll say, under or around $200, they're not going to be like that much longer. Not only are they not going to be priced like that, you're just not going to find them. I mean, you guys know you can't just go. You can't just go and say, "Hey, man, can I get a bunch of your 14-year whiskey?" Oh yeah, no problem.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's easy when it's 14, Kentucky straight bourbon to kind of say it's all worthy of being a single barrel, but Ashley doesn't do that, and we're grateful. For her nose and palate, and because we're blown away as well. And I think we've been incredibly blown away by the response. I mean, in the Spring Whiskey Advocate, we were, the top scorer in the buyer guide for bourbons with one of the bar barrels. And what Mike said earlier, as far as buying off our website, is because I was even a little skeptical in the beginning, more than Mike, where I didn't want to, this sounds wrong, but I didn't want to have too much available because, in this world, if it's available on your website, maybe it cheapens the thing. But it's like, no, this is the best way for everyone to have a crack at it,
Yeah.
And sure enough, we see on our emails with the 14 hits, and we kind of know the day, but we don't know exactly when. So then also to look at our inbox, and then we could see, the 14 there, and we're going to continue to do that.
It's something that coming from the trenches of bottle chasing, we appreciate, and we figure people will appreciate once they get over, if there's any thought of it cheapening or lessening the brand at all. But having it on our website is just something that I wish a lot of brands did if you could. I know a lot of the stuff is scarce and it's hard to get, and but we try to make it available as much as we can, just to make it easy for everybody. And plus, we're only in 13 states, so we kind of wanted everyone in the country to be available to, kind of get access to it if they can.
Well, and to that point, I was talking to John before, and I said, we get that too. I'm looking for Lucky 7, or I'm looking for whatever. and I can't find it at my liquor store. And
yeah.
And we understand. And I said, now you kind of have to just start doing a little more research as to what it is you can find, online, because there's a lot more resources, and you're just going to have a better opportunity if you're willing to pay the kind of shipping part of it. Well, then you have a better chance of getting a bottle that you're really looking for. And yeah, I mean, we tell a lot of people that. I'm still amazed that it seems to be a little bit of a secret that you can still buy bourbon online, kind of, but
it's fine. I mean, we're fine with the volume right now. I mean, it seems fine. We're stocking just about enough to keep up with what's going on, with sales, and it seems to be working just fine. I mean, it's manageable, I should say. We're managing right now.
one of these would look pretty awesome with a Mash and Journey Whiskey Club sticker on it. Just saying.
Yes, we'll do a pick with you guys. Yes,
I've already bothered the heck out of John about it. So
well, we'll get you. We're just pulling samples now for the next round of single barrels to come out. So. We'll get you some samples.
Who are listening, I always say that, and it's true. I have a long list, and
I'm sure.
Through it.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I feel like I'm always telling when people were pulling samples, but we are. It's a process that does oddly take some time,
Well, I guess, like, speaking of these two, I mean, the 12 and 14-year-old, let's talk a little bit about those. I mean, I think we're in the day and age where there's a lot of people that appreciate whiskeys that have still an age statement, maybe a little bit of proof, to them. And these all kind of, resonate with that. So whoever wants to kind of go first, what was the idea?
I'm drinking the hold up right now, and that's at 100 proof, 12-year-old. The new ones, and we didn't do a huge run just now at our last fill. They actually have same label. Or it's 14-year-old though.
Yeah, so
it's 14 now.
The hold up grew up a little bit.
It grew up, and it's still at 100 proof. And I love it. I have a hard time. I don't know if it's because it's your firstborn, maybe because it kind of was as far as barrels we bought. So I absolutely. This is more my daily drinker, except for sometimes it's sometimes the holiday toast, sometimes it's the jokester as well. But I think the scary part, going back to proofs is when we're getting used to 120 the single barrels, or so a lot of them were in the 130s, and then it becomes normal. That's where you got to pump the brakes a little.
Well, I would say to anybody, like, hey, if you think for 1 second you're going to drink like the 12-year at 100 proof and be disappointed that it's not high proof, trust me, you will not be disappointed. It's a great bourbon that's full of flavor. And again, 100 proof. I mean, it's a great proof. I mean, that's a really nice proof where that whiskey is still maintaining, a lot.
Yeah, and there's really a reason for it. I mean, we really believe that that's the best tasting, mix right there. If it would taste better at 105 or 98 or whatever, we would put it there. But we collectively all were like, 100. It is 100. That's where it has to be. And same goes for that single barrel, where when we try these. And these are sort of like single barrel candidates. Like, we absolutely were like, yes, full proof, cast strength, single barrel all the way. There's nothing. We're not going to do anything to this barrel. We're going to dump it right through into a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, this, when you basically take this now, proof it down to 100. I mean, I'll tell you what, it is still a fantastic bourbon. Like, I mean, it's just that's the one problem I say to people, because I think a lot of times a lot of people get so fixated on these high proof things, everything. It's like, as good as that is on occasion, that's just not something you can do all the time. Like, you just can't have 100 and what is this, 130 I mean, 133 proof. You can't drink.
Right.
You can't drink that every day. You just can't.
No.
You,
I said, if you are, that's where it's time to look in the mirror, maybe.
Exactly. Again, I agree. 100%. And that's why I think with this, I mean, that 100 proof of this, I mean, man, it's hard to get away from that. That's a great bourbon. So I mean, good job with really all of that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
incredible. I mean, if you were to do a flight of everything we offer right now, I mean, there are distinctively different flavors and tastes coming out of all of them. I mean, if you were to do start with the Jokester, make your all the way up to the Proprietor 14, very distinct flavors, all having something different to offer, and that's why we ended up offering different expressions like that, because they weren't similar enough to categorize in one SKU or one expression. So we offered I think we have now 5 expressions. But we're all very proud of all of them. We treat them like children. We're like,
and you should be. I mean, you guys should be very, very proud of all of these. I mean, I mean, there's a lot of people and I get a lot of questions as to, what it is you're drinking, what do you recommend, all these things. And I'll tell you what, I mean, a lot of what you guys do, and it comes up for me, like it's always in my mind of wanting to tell people. And then, you get the question of, well, what is it? And I'm like, well, just go check it out. And I'm not going to recommend something that I wouldn't drink myself or enjoy. I mean, it's as simple as that. So what you guys have secured is fantastic. I'm super pumped for you guys and to see what's kind of going on in the future. Before we get into the future part of it, I know we're kind of running up on that hour time. I've got a few questions from some people in the chat, so maybe I'll throw these at you guys real quick, and you can maybe answer some of them. So Deborah C said, if you order the Jokester from the website, is it the retirement release?
Not yet. We're almost out of batch 5, and that's the batch right before the retirement. When we sell the retirement on the website, we're going to put the medallion on the picture, so you'll know that that's the retirement. But that will be out, and it should be on our website, I would say, in about 3 weeks. We just have to ship it from Kentucky out to our fulfillment center, so it'll take a little bit of time, but it should be about 3 weeks before that hits our website. But it'll say retirement, final batch 6, all that.
All right. So Blind Squirrel says, when will the 14-year 100 proof be on the site?
That the same time as the retirement. That's all coming out together. So you'll have the 14-year hold up, 100 proof, and then the retirement Jokester will also be on there. Trying to think of what else would be. I mean, we'll have some more 14-year. We're shipping out some barrels for that for the website, and we're currently running a little low on the holiday toast. We have they're all being finished right now. What's that? Oh yeah, I know. We are running a little low on that, but I mean we're making more. It just obviously takes time. These are finished. They're finishing in their barrels.
You mean you guys can't make 12 and 14-year stuff in like a couple of years? What are you talking about?
We have not figured that out yet.
Yeah. We try stuff with Ashley, and I think me and Mike are like, it's gonna be ready, right? Like, and that should be like, guys.
Sure.
I hear you. Ashley, patience is not one of my virtues. I'll say that. That's for sure.
If we try to rush something with her, she will snap back at us like, "No, it's not ready. Don't ask me again." So I'm like, "Okay, yes, ma'am." That kind of thing.
All right. So here's another one from Bogies and Barrels. Is there an email list for when the 12 and 14-year-old would be added back to the website? So is there an email list they can get on that will give you a notification for anything?
No. But what we're doing is our Instagram stories. We've been saying restock once it hits. I can do a better job of letting people know.
We will try our hardest to try to get that gap closed to where if we do a story, it coincides as much as we can. It probably will never be perfect, but we'll get as close as we can to shorten that or to nail that.
Also, you can email us at hi@lucky7spirits.com, all spelled out. And we'll do our best to send out like an email to people when we know it's about to hit the website or something. We should probably have better options for people in terms of like getting their email and things. But for right now, I think that's the best way, and we'll try and do a better job of getting like a join the list button or something on our website.
Well, I mean, there's so many people that are like do all the other social media stuff. It's hard to kind of miss some of that stuff nowadays. But I get it. Yeah. Not everyone does everything. But so let's real quick, and then we'll kind of get into the winners tonight, and then we'll let John kind of announce a little bit of the special part of it. Oh, hang on a second. My assistant. My wife doesn't like when I call her my assistant.
I like that. I see those notes coming
my Vanna White keeps slipping me little messages and stuff here. So
like that.
All right. So what do we got here? So all right. So Marty from Whiskey Knows, Lucky 7 merch or any glasses anywhere soon?
Yes. Yeah, I mean soon, but we're building our swag department. I guess glasses would probably be in there. We did a sample shirts that came out amazing. Long sleeve, short sleeve, but right now we're kind of building that, and it's going to be really good, all of it. But maybe we'll try to get those glasses out and the hats first. So there's
I think we're going to do that. We keep talking about it, and we never.
I know, but
we're gonna do it. So we're gonna do hats like this. We have hats like this. As John mentioned, he has really cool. John was in charge of the shirts department, and he came out with some really good, nice cotton shirts. And we're gonna do some for a charity event. We're gonna do some Lucky 7 Glencairn glasses. So I think what we'll do is just have more and offer that. So maybe 4 weeks time, 5 weeks time, we should be able to sell something on our website.
Well, what Michael doesn't know tonight, the person who wins the hat gets actually his hat tonight. So some of you guys
the sweaty hat. No, I wouldn't do that.
I think you want a new one.
Yeah. We got a nice new one for you. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What else was I gonna say? Okay. Let's do, since we've got maybe now we're a little bit over the time. So if there's anybody who wants to be part of the giveaway tonight, and then we'll let John kind of announce the special part of tonight's bonus thing. And if I'll say this, if for some reason, and are you okay doing this? Like you're okay?
Okay. Okay. It depends. Well, you know what the depends part.
Yeah, I know it. And here's what I'll say. If for what John's offering doesn't work for the person who wins, I'll make sure that something does win for.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll make it work. But this isn't something I will say that John is going to do. Doesn't happen like all the time. So before we kind of
some it does. But anyway, go
ahead. Yeah. So before we do, if anyone wants to be kind of in on everything going on tonight, you got maybe I'll say 2 more minutes, and then we'll have Katie give me the amount of people that are in the chat or who are part of the giveaway tonight, and then we'll find the winner, and then we'll hope that, let's just say this, whoever wins tonight, I hope you're somewhere kind of in the Midwest. Let's just say that kind of that'll be the bonus part of it, but. We'll figure some other stuff out. But even aside from that, you're all going to get, or not all, but the winner tonight will get the 14-year, the 12-year, the 6 and the 6-year single barrel. So you're pretty much getting everything except the only one that I don't have is the holiday toast. That's the only one that I don't have. But you're getting 5/6 of something. So that's pretty damn good. So. Or whatever, 4/5, whatever the hell you want to call it. So, all right. So I think we're pretty good. I'll ask Katie Turk, who is keeping track of tonight's super chats. Let me know the amount of people in, and then we'll ask one of the guys between one and whoever entered to give us a number, and we'll find out tonight's winner will be. So while we're waiting for everybody, do you guys want to share kind of where people can find you on social media, any of that kind of stuff, or reach out to you guys at?
Well,
Instagram.
the best way, we're getting a lot of communication through Instagram. People will send DMs to our Instagram, and we'll get the message and either answer directly or have someone answer for us, like with questions that they have. That's probably the best way. But also hi@lucky7spirits.com. That goes right to us. We see those emails, and we'll be able to answer any questions right there also. So those are two of the best ways to get a hold of us.
But Instagram too, it's Lucky 7 Bourbon, Lucky 7 Spirits. We got it. It's about to come down. We got to figure out how that comes down, because Lucky 7 Bourbon is where to find us. And you'll see the discrepancy in followers, but that's Lucky 7 Bourbon is the right Instagram.
Okay, because I was always wondering, because like I saw like at Lucky 7 Spirits or Lucky 7 Bourbon, I wasn't sure which one was the actual one.
We ended up we ended up getting hacked or something, and we had to shut down the old Instagram and restart Lucky number 7 Bourbon. Yeah, so it was really disappointing.
You need to get that thing gone.
Yeah. So it's confusing. I think they keep the people that help us kept it up just to direct people to the new page, but I think it's about time we take the old one down now. So
all right. So if anyone's looking for you on Instagram, Lucky 7 Bourbon.
Yes. Lucky the number 7 Bourbon is our Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've got it looks like everyone's making the last ditch effort. I've got some people that are like, I'm willing to travel. I'm
it's not that great.
This isn't that good.
All right. So whoever is keeping track, I've seen a couple people. I need to actually know the number. We'll cut it off now with Tyler. So I saw Marty and a couple other people. All right. So Whiskey knows Marty's got 61 after Tyler. Okay. So we'll cut it off there. So anybody coming in now is out. So between 1 and 61, which one of you guys want to give me a number between 1 and 61, and that will be tonight's. That'll be tonight's.
Nice.
That'll be
you
Mike.
do it, John. No, you do it,
because I'll be the one.
They'll be mad at you if you don't pick them or something, or what?
Because
I'm thinking. All right, 32 popped in my head for some reason.
32. Okay. All right. Okay. I guess we whatever. We had 62, but I don't think it really matters. We weren't picking 62 anyway. All right. So your number was what? Say it again.
32.
32. Okay. So Katie or whoever it was, let me know who number 32 was, and that'll be tonight's winner. And you're going to get all of this good stuff. Maybe I'll throw in a little extra something as well, and then you'll get hopefully. Yeah, you get
a brand new hat.
Sweaty hat. If you're not in the Midwest, I think Michael said before he's willing to caddy. If you don't get a bottle or something, you're willing to caddy.
Or Michael.
Yeah, John volunteered me to caddy. I've never caddied before, so you'll probably lose, but I'd be happy to carry your clubs around for you.
See, you can see these guys not only
off the table. That was my joke.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you offer up great whiskey, but I mean all kinds of other caddy services, all kinds of good things.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably make you a cocktail on the golf course. That would be better for you than me carrying your clubs. So
okay. So Nate Cox won. Nate Cox is the winner. And all right, Nate. Here's the big question.
Where do you live?
Let us know where you live. If you can let us know, at least the state, that'll help us. You don't have to tell us your address or anything like that, but let us know where you live. If you're not in here right now, we'll figure it out. But all right, Nate, you said yeah, buddy, so you're in. So let us know where you are. Oh man, I feel like I need like Jeopardy music or something right now.
No, we could fill it. No,
I'm waiting with anticipation.
Love the show and Derby week. For Kentucky people listening,
we'll be out there.
We're excited, super excited.
Good. What will you so will you actually be at the Derby doing something, or?
So me and Mike are definitely going to the Oaks, and we're probably going to the Derby, but we're also there. It's kind of nice for us to, because we know a ton of people in the industry will be there, just for having little meetings, casual meetings over drinks and maybe a dinner here and there or breakfast. Every time we're in Louisville or Bardstown, there's a
You see it? You see it? Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right. Okay. So, all right, John. So you tell him. You tell Nate.
Well,
you tell
Nate,
Nate.
my plan was to have a nice pour with you and leave the bottle with you, of my choice, and I think you'll be happy. But we're gonna figure something out, buddy. So what we'll do is, if you get Nate's phone number,
Yeah,
then I'll give Nate a call tomorrow, and then who knows? I'm all over the place, and maybe he's going somewhere. Or, we'll figure something out.
yeah. We'll figure some out. And Nate, if you want to shoot me an email, just send it to mybourbonjourney01@gmail.com, and I'll connect you.
Let's say Nate was in Kentucky next week. Me and Mike would meet with them and have a drink with them and leave them with a bottle. And I don't know if autograph bottle means anything, but we would do that and make sure he had a good time. But me and Nate will figure something out for sure.
Yeah, that'll be good. So, well, thanks for all of that. I mean, I'm glad that I could have you guys come on, let everybody know a little bit more about you, the brand, the whiskey, all of that. I mean, I'll say this personally. I mean, I've been able to drink a lot of these, and they're all fantastic. I mean, I've got favorites, of course, and I've told a lot of people, if you can find it, buy it. It's that good. I don't think you'll regret it one bit. And I'll kind of stand by that. I mean, I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. You've got some great whiskey. Hopefully you continue to, pump this stuff out like it is. I know you can't make 14-year stuff overnight. I know that. But for the people who are enjoying this, I think they're realizing now that, it's a pretty special whiskey, and, kudos to you guys.
Yeah, thank you. And I would love to say thanks to everybody for your support. I don't think John and I ever expected to get such support from the community. I mean, we didn't really know what to expect, but we're so happy with the reaction from everybody from the beginning to now. It's been a great ride. It's been a great journey, pun intended. But we are even more thrilled to offer the best we can get our hands on and make everyone happy and enthusiastic moving forward. So it's been great, and I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for all your support. It's been amazing.
Well said, Mike. That's how we feel, and remember our faces, because if you see me and Mike out, we'd love to sit down and have a drink with you. We really would. We're not.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. We enjoy our drinking with our customers, our friends, retail people at the retail stores and restaurants. We love every minute of it. So thanks, Scott. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you coming on and just kind of sharing a little bit more of your experience with everyone. And like I said before, if you guys can find it, go to the website. They'll kind of direct you in the right place to find some of this stuff. But you're not going to regret making the purchases. It's some pretty fantastic whiskey. So, all right, guys. Hey, everyone who was part of tonight's chat and the live, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate everyone's support. Thank you so much to John, Michael. Thank you guys for taking a little bit of your time tonight. Greatly appreciate all of that. Nate, send me an email. We'll get you my stuff. We'll kind of work on John's stuff as well. But other than that, we'll be back next Tuesday. I don't know what I've got. I've got kind of an order, not really an order, but I've got some things planned. But it'll be something fun. But guys, thanks again for joining tonight. You guys hold tight real quick. But everybody else tonight, thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Cheers, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.